Welcome to part 2 of my Chrysler review. A bit of a long-term review this one, and second review's been a long time coming. Right now we're just on some pretty twisty roads coming down from the Gold Coast hinterland. Just did a bit of a sunset shoot of the 300, and also flew my drone just for a bit. It's a Friday afternoon, and it was the first time I've had a bit of spare time in a while, which was lovely. So yeah, sorry about the wait, and thanks to the new subscribers. I mean, any support's appreciated in keeping these 300 dream alive. So, bit of a review. Moving on from the last one, I thought I'd do a driving one this time, just to give you a bit of a live example of the experience of driving the 300. Coming up the hill's pretty fun. A lot of it's slow because it's like sketchy as. I mean, one mistake here and you're in some serious trouble, but there's some sections where you can have a bit of fun too. So going on from the last video, the rattle that I was talking about, which was annoying me with the sound system, I actually located it. Down next to the rotary control is a little holder of some kind. I don't even know what it's designed for. I put the key in there, or the remote door opener for my home. But what it does is it actually just sits freely in there and can be removed. Now, the idea of the removal is, I believe there's a handbrake adjustment under it to save having to pull apart the whole dash. So I can see why Chrysler's done it. However, it was just, yeah, shitting me off to no end, because every time you turn the stereo up, you get this rattle. So, simple fix. Wasn't going to go bother Chrysler about it. It'd be more effort than it was worth. So I just got a bit of double-sided tape on each end of that little holder on the underside. And that's rectified the problem. It's provided a little bit of dampening, and also when it comes to servicing, if they need to do a handbrake adjustment, it doesn't stuff with them too much. So yeah, that's all good. Car's been good, it's been reliable. I've moved down to southeast Queensland now from central Queensland, so last week I did a 1,000k trip in the Chrysler. Comfy as the whole way. Oh, there's a snake on the road, a big bloody carpet snake. I don't know if you can see it. It's probably about 2 meters long. Lots of wildlife up here. Ironically enough, we moved from a more rural area to down in a quite built-up suburban area down on the Gold Coast, and yesterday we had a snake in the house. So yeah, we had to get that bugger out. Mrs. says it's a copperhead, but I was pretty sure after Googling a few images that it was a little brown snake. It's probably about a foot long. Not a fan of the brown snakes, they're the bad ones, bad biteys. But got him out of the house, and hopefully he buggers off and doesn't try to come back in. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Anyway, sorry for the sidetrack. Moving back on, yeah, the trip down was awesome. This thing on the highway, it really isn't bad on fuel. I mean, in the 1,000k trip, I did 8.9 litres per 100k average. Wasn't babying the car. I just had it in like auto mode. So I think when you're on 100 and it's not under load, it switches down to 4-cylinder, so it deactivates 4, and that gave me pretty good economy. But I mean, that definitely wasn't babying it. I mean, there was a fair bit of overtaking, and when I got into the city towards the end of the trip, peak hour traffic in custom mode, making a lot of noise. So yeah, but so yeah, no dramas there. The drive down was good. I've had a service since I last talked to you. No big issues there. One problem though I'll note that is the carbon fiber trim that's on the car. It's renowned for peeling up. It's on the doors, it's on the front dash sort of area, and it just warps with a bit of heat in it. It warps, and so I had all of mine replaced like during winter time, so maybe 4 months ago, and it was really nice hopping back in the car and don't have shitty carbon fiber peeling up, ruining the look of a very nice vehicle. However, when getting towards summertime now, and I noticed that the rear driver's rear door is peeling up again, which is yeah, very frustrating. That's going to be an ongoing thing. I'll be interested to see how Chrysler goes with warranty replacement of this, because it's a very, very known problem when the vehicle's out of warranty, which I believe is April next year. However, I will be taking it back to get that rectified. Now, what else can I talk about? I don't know if I talked about the brakes on the vehicle last time, but the brakes on this are rock solid. They're very touchy, actually. It takes a bit to get used to. Like if you're driving a different vehicle and then hopped in the Chrysler for the first time in a while, you'd be very like jolty on the brakes. Is that a second snake? Nah, just barked that one. But yeah, if you jump on the brakes, they've definitely got good stopping power, which gives you good confidence. I think they're 4-pot Brembos up front, 2 at the back. Pretty big rotors on them, slotted rotors. And yeah, they're doing a good job. No issues there. I'm not a heavy braker, you know, in my normal driving, like in my other vehicles. Brakes always last me a really long time. I'm sort of more a fan of engine braking and just timing your corners right. But yeah, the brakes on this are rippers. No doubt when it comes to replacement, it'll cost a fortune. Yeah, fun factor though, like I just love this car. Like, still not sick of it. Drive it anywhere, anytime. It's bloody awesome. Tires on it though, I mean, I changed my setting for my custom, because I was telling you in the last video about my custom setting, what I had it on, and I think I had traction on sport, and I've changed it back to street, which is basically stops a bit more wheel slip, because I found in sport, like you try to get a quick takeaway from the lights, or even for example, you're at a busy roundabout and you got to pick your shot and go, like it's really easy to bag it up even in sport mode. Like track mode you'd just be in, you know, tire smoke, simple as that. But I'm happy now I've changed it back to street mode. Sorry, I just got to slow down. This is a really, really narrow mountain road. I don't know if you can pick up outside of me here, but you probably got a 200-meter steep hill with only a few big gum trees to catch us, so I'm not keen on trying that out this evening. Yeah, so why is there a stop sign here? Stop for what? Actually, yeah, I don't know why that's there at all. So yeah, loving it. This car's awesome. Driving around in the city, this definitely gets a lot of attention, particularly because of that color. I mean, the ceramic grey just looks sweet as. If you're in early or late afternoon light, it just takes on this whole new level. It was definitely the right paint choice for me. But in saying that, anyone that's looking at a Chrysler, there's a heap of good options. Like, my wife's got a white one, and she gave that a clean yesterday. We went for a cruise, and I was admiring it when we were driving along. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that looks good. It's a certain kind of white, but I mean, yeah, there's probably about 4 or 5 colors in this sort of vehicle I'd get. No issues there. So I've been yabbering for a bit. We might just have a bit of fun. I won't go too crazy. I don't know if you can pick up the exhaust note in this, but we're coming down the mountain now, so I'll just have a bit more driving fun, a little less talking. Under throttle, this thing's just ridiculous. And the handling wise, for a big boat, she goes around corners well with the magnetic ride suspension that they've got. Yeah, definitely trust this vehicle. I mean, there's a limit to it, but the limit is very, very far for a vehicle of this size. Like, I'm running Pirelli P0s on this, and the standard that come with the Goodyear F1s, which were not a bad tire. I mean, that's the factory tire for the vehicle. However, we found when you got to the end of the, like, late in the life of the first set that we had on my wife's car, they definitely seemed to like go hard, whereas you just had a lot less traction, and it was getting borderline dangerous. I mean, just even on the gas a little bit. Sorry to slow it down a bit here. We'll be a responsible driver. That's the one little thing about driving these roads at night time. You can actually see a bit more of another vehicle coming in the opposite direction. Saying that, I hope I don't have a head-on with another one. but it won't be too silly here. We'll just have a bit of driving fun. So as you can see, this thing hustles through the corners. I mean, I don't know why that's a 10k corner. Oh yeah. It's definitely no mistake driving, but it's quite engaging. This is the sort of driving I like in my vehicles. Proper mountain roads. Switchback hairpin. I mean, this is a really, really good road I'm on at the moment, but I'll tell you what, if you did it a bit, you'd be up for tyres, because it really, especially in a heavy car, like you're rolling on the outside a lot. I shouldn't really be doing this now, but stuff it, you live once. In gear acceleration in this, I mean, I'm not even half throttle with what I'm doing at the moment, and just pretty much using engine braking. I'm only in second gear here. And we'll slow it down, be a bit more responsible. Yeah, so in making these videos, it's just, look, at the end of the day, these things won't be around much longer, and I mean, Chrysler's not doing anything in Australia to promote these things, which is quite frustrating, because I think there's a good market for them, but they just don't, you know, don't promote it. I mean, you see Ford Australia, they do a lot of promotion with the Mustangs, and those things are popular as on the road, and it's, well, I like the Mustang. It's almost because they're too popular now. Like, you see them everywhere. The only way I'd get one of those, like, they're a great drive, I'm not knocking them. But the only way I'd be in the Mustang is if I had a lot of custom options on it to kind of make it unique. It's one thing though, obviously it's not available in the Chrysler in Australia, many custom options for these, but honestly I don't want to like ruin this thing with some shitty bolt-ons. Probably the only thing I'd do is consider some slow it down there. There's a bit of rock on the road. This is one of those roads where you can get some rock fall at any time. I imagine in windy conditions you'd want to be pretty careful up here at the moment too, because this was an area, like obviously overseas friends, you probably heard we had some pretty bad bushfires in Australia last summertime. This was an area that got pretty much torched, which was a shame. There's up on top of the hill is a really old retreat. I don't know how old it is, but O'Reilly's. And it got pretty extensively damaged, which was a shame. It's been around for a long, long time. It's part of Australian sort of history. And but yeah, the fires, I mean, they were just ruthless last year. Countryside's recovered pretty good though. But yeah, there's a lot of what they call widowmaker trees out there. I imagine in windy conditions they can still come down. Like, they've been burnt, and obviously they're just getting weaker and weaker with time. So definitely you got to be on your toes up here, because it was before the fires you just had the rocks. Particularly after rain here, you can get some pretty serious rock slides on this road, which can yeah, basically shut it down for a pretty good period of time. But at the moment, yeah, all good. It's a pretty fun drive. As you can see, there's no shortage of action on the turns. It's really addictive, this car. Like, you'll find you get drawn into just driving harder and harder with it, because it encourages it. I mean, oh, it's just ridiculously addictive, because you just got confidence in it. And I mean, that's a big thing in a car. Like, I hate driving a car and you just feel like you don't trust it, like you don't know where the edge is. But this thing, yeah, the edge is actually pretty far, and what I'm doing now is nowhere near it. Like, I mean, I'm hustling along, I'm throwing it through corners, but I'm not at the point of like nearly breaking traction. Not being too silly with it. I mean, I love this car too much, and it's really, I don't want to spend the night down one of these ravines upside down waiting to get rescued, or hoping someone finds me to rescue me, because that's the kind of place it is up here. So yeah, just having a bit of a hustle. So with these reviews, I'll try and do them more. If anyone's got anything they'd like to know about these cars from an owner's point of view, let me know, because I'd be happy to answer your questions. I mean, yeah, it's something, I'm not about hogging information on it. If you want to know something, ask me in the comments. And yeah, I'd be happy to answer them. Anyone that leaves a comment, guys, like, I'd always try and answer it if you've got a question for me. You know, sometimes it might take a couple of days because, as you know, like, life just can get pretty busy. I mean, unfortunately, you've got to work full time. Everybody's got to hustle. I mean, you've got to hustle to have nice toys. But yeah, I'll always endeavour to answer any questions you may have. Any regrets with buying this car? Nah. Actually, the only regret I would have would be I didn't buy it sooner. And I'm really, really grateful I didn't make an error in being conservative, because I was really, really close to like looking at the Mustang or I'll just get past this car, or the Kia Stinger, and I mean, oh, I'm so glad I didn't do it, because both cars would have cost as much money to be driving, but they just wouldn't have given me the satisfaction that I wanted. As far as, like, I love driving, like anything, I'll drive any sort of vehicle, and yeah, the daily drivability of this thing is just off the charts. I mean, all this driving I'm doing now, making noise, having fun, and I reckon I haven't even got over half throttle coming down this hill. I tell you right now, if you get full throttle, it gets serious real quick. And I mean, half throttle, I'm having a blast. Like, sorry, I'm trying to talk and concentrate at the same time. This is actually some pretty good road here. Usually when I'm coming up and down these sort of roads, you know, you're not talking and you're concentrating, but I'm trying to keep you entertained as well, so you keep watching, don't get too bored. Oh, there's a sharp one, this one. I better slow it down. So yeah, down here where I'm living now, this is my home area, Gold Coast. There's some great mountain roads here. And if you pick the right time of day, you can actually get some fantastic runs. I mean, the reality is, with how busy this place has got over the last couple of decades, I mean, I've been here for a long time, that it's pretty hard to get a good mountain run in anymore. So your best chance is kind of what I'm doing now, like just after dark, or I don't know, I don't stay up super late or through the middle of the night, where you can have a run and it's not going to be any other cars on the road or cyclists, because for some reason cyclists like these roads, and I mean, they just got a death wish, because as you can see, it's a narrow as, and they'll be riding up, huffing and puffing in the middle of the road on the other, coming up the other way. And I mean, yeah, I think it's dangerous. They shouldn't be allowed up here, but that's just my opinion, and my opinion doesn't count, because they are allowed on these roads. I was trying to think of other things I can tell you about what I'm liking about the car right now. Oh, better slow down. You see the speed the tourists come up at, like 20k an hour. I mean, when you get stuck behind them, it's a long drive. I mean, I get why they're going slow, because they might not be the most confident drivers, but yeah, it sucks when you get caught behind one on this road, because yeah, you'll be stopping a bit. I mean, on the drive up, I had to stop for like four times for the one vehicle. No, I think 5 times before I even got to the top of this run. And I hopped out of the car 5 times and caught it each time, and I wasn't even giving it to it, but I mean, they just weren't a confident driver. I mean, can't hate on them too much. But yeah, that's just the kind of road this one is. I mean, I don't know, if you can bother counting, I'm well over 100 turns now coming down the hill. One thing we're really grateful with is our new place. We weren't really sure whether we'd fit the 2 in the garage, because we didn't want to leave them outside. We keep these things in the garage, just too valuable to put outside. And yeah, particularly because we had, even 2 weeks ago, we had this massive hailstorm through that area, and then we had hailstones up to 14 centimeters, which is like, what, 4.5 inches in size, and that would have been the end of them. So yeah, we've got that sorted. Yeah, so yeah, I can't think of really a lot else to add to this part 2 review. Just fun factors still there for me. Just trying to do my little bit to, you know, keep the 300 dream alive. I love seeing content. Like, I'm always looking at content from the overseas, like on YouTube and that, like the Saudi Arabian, my friends over there. You guys know how to do it. you have fun with these cars. So yeah, all of you guys in the US crew, it's a real shame you can't get these here. Like the 300S is a good car. You're running the 5.7 Hemis, and you got all the other bells and whistles that this has, but I don't get why they don't do this in a 6.4 for you. I mean, you got all the other vehicles over there with the Dodge Chryslers, which are running like scat packs and that with a 6.4, and I mean, you should have it there. And that's the one thing as an Australian owner, I wish you guys had that, because I know the aftermarket parts in the States, like you guys do it like nobody else. You absolutely rule that shit. But yeah, it's frustrating because it's just not available in Australia because the market's too small. I mean, we've pretty much got us and the Saudis and other Middle Eastern countries that I understand, they're getting the vehicles. So yeah, it's a bit frustrating, but yeah, it is what it is. You can't change it. I mean, in the modern world, like, yeah, I'll tell you right now, I'll never be a person that buys a car in fuel economy. Like, oh, it nearly makes me vomit when I listen to people talking about, oh, I did a drive here and I used, you know, less than 5 litres per 100, and that's the first thing they tell you about their vehicle, and I'm like, that's just shit. Like, yeah, it's good if you got a car that's economical, but oh my gosh, like, I just can't imagine spending 30, 40, 50,000 bucks on something, and the highlight of it is how little fuel it uses. Like, that's a lot of money. Like, you know, if I'm spending 50 plus G on a car, I want to be talking about how much fun it's given me, because at the end of the day, like, you're going to be paying that off for a while, unless you're fortunate enough where you got a bit of cash. I mean, that's a burden you're going to have, and I mean, yeah, it's something I'll never do. Oh, better slow it down again. So yeah, I might wrap it up here. Thanks for tuning in. I'll try and make some more videos, of course, but it's just hard. Like, life's busy, as you know, everybody's busy. COVID's been a crazy year. I mean, I just can't wait to get rid of 2020 and just welcome 2021. I mean, honestly, I thought 2019 for my wife and I, we were like, oh, we're over it. That's the worst year ever. And we're looking forward to 2020, as I'm sure a lot of people were. And then 2020, March in particular, world went to shit. And yeah, thank God we're nearly at the end. So yeah, if you've watched all of it, I appreciate you tuning in. Everyone who subscribed and to new subscribers, thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. Share the love. And like I said earlier, if you got any questions, you'd like to know anything about this vehicle, ask me, I will answer it. It might take a little bit to get back to you, but happy to answer any question you have with this vehicle, and you know, any experiences that you want to know. And if you're thinking about buying one, I'll tell you what, go for a test drive and tell me what I'm telling you on my reviews isn't true. I'm not lying to you. When we went and bought the first one, my wife's one, I'll tell you what, it took me about 2 minutes behind the wheel, and I'm like, if you don't buy this, I will. It was just, yeah, at the time I wasn't in the market for another vehicle. She was, and it was just, yeah, as soon as it started in the car lot, it was like, yeah, we got to have this thing. And yeah, haven't regretted it yet. All right, that's me out. Take it easy, people. Speak to you next time.